Hello.
Hello. Good day. It's so nice to be here. So my name is Helene van den Dries, and I lead the UX team at WeTransfer.
And I'm Kaya Crow, and I lead product marketing for two of our products at WeTransfer. And my background is in brand marketing and market research.
And my background is in, you guess it, UX research. So today we will be debating about the question if, or will UX research kill market research? And before we do that, we want to take you through a little bit of background about WeTransfer. So WeTransfer is fully like a tech company. We don't have anything physical. Everything is digital, all our products. And you might know it from this. A lot of people know it, some maybe don't. We're in the file sharing business, mainly large files. And we started out about 10 years ago, as a better solution to couriers, basically. So what would happen is that people would send over their big files per courier, and one of our founders thought that there must be a more convenient solution to that. So they, two of them actually, they started WeTransfer. We are now an Amsterdam-based company, headquarters in Amsterdam, but we also have offices in LA and New York. And what's actually interesting about this product is that it takes kind of a radical approach as to combine the aesthetics with a very simple functionality. And that is, I guess, still what we are known for. So if you look at this interface, the actual functionality is mostly within this little box over there. And that radical simplicity is something that we carry on through our brand even today. Because actually, we are now a set of tools, a set of what we like to call beautifully obvious tools that keep your ideas moving. So if you look at that set, we now have 5 products. And each of these products, they play like their own role in kind of ideation and moving ideas forward. So really you could say in the creative thinking business. This is just a little bit of background about how we will be talking about UX research and market research. Of course, it's because it's digital, also because it's a suite of tools. So now on to the question.
So will UX research kill market research? Well, no.
Okay.
And we're done, so thank you very much. Just kidding. It's actually a lot messier and more interesting. And this was billed as a conversation, but really we've had many, many conversations leading up to this. So this is more of like a shared story between the two of us and essentially a recap of the conversations that we've had over the past 4 to 6 weeks. So where to start? So we're going to start with really, really simple definitions of market research and UX research. So in this instance, we can define market research as the identification of a specific market and measurement of its size and demographics. So really, once an opportunity is identified for a new product, a new business unit, market research evaluates that opportunity, really looking at how much money can we make, and then the click down is who's going to use this product, and that influences how much money we can make. This is the most simple form of market research.
So if we then look at UX research, UX stands for user experience, and that term was originally coined, of course, at Apple. And it was meant to cover the totality of interaction that one can have with a product. However, because the main form of digital interactions back then was with a computer, it's quickly narrowed down to like the interaction of a person with the interface. So it kind of immediately narrowed down to just interface, UI. That's where usability research came from. I think many of you will know that, right? So how does this product work? Does it work in an intuitive and efficient and an effective way? That's what that research would evaluate. So I say evaluate. This research was very evaluative by nature. And it was, if you look at a product development process, it would come in like halfway. We would bring in some users, test it, this works, maybe revise some things and go on. A lot of people, I think, still think of this when they think of UX research. So that's basically about like executing on the opportunity that was identified before in the best way possible.
So we can think of market research as the outside, so representing the world outside of the product and outside of the company. what's happening in the industry, what's happening in the mass market. And we can think about user research or UX research in this context as the insight. What's happening in the product? What is the user doing in the product? What button are they clicking, etc. So here we've represented them as a black circle and a white circle. But as you probably guessed, the outside and inside are actually moving closer together. And I hope that our initial definitions of market research and UX research made some of you uncomfortable, because I would be uncomfortable with them. Then really, market research has evolved. So yes, there is this quantitative component, so identifying the market, sizing the market, understanding what is the business opportunity from a monetary standpoint. But there's also this qualitative aspect of market research, which is really identifying cultural trends and drivers and rooting the opportunity within a cultural context. So really rooting the opportunity, if it's a new business unit, if it's a new product, in why will the user care and what's happening in the user's life that will make this relevant.
So if we then again look at what happened to UX research over time, I think the main thing that happened is that a lot of tech and product companies started to realize that bringing users in somewhere halfway is probably not the best option. Starting with that can, deliver actual differentiating value. Why? Because you start looking at how this product actually fits in someone's life, in someone's motivations. Well, I can name all the words that are on this bag here. Barriers, effects, hopes, and fears. Like, we need to understand what that looks like and to be able to root the product in that, and to be able, in that way, to make a more valuable product for them. I think that's what we're always looking for, to make a product more valuable. So also, that meant that UX research shifted from, somewhere halfway to right there at the beginning, and from just executing on the opportunity to identifying the opportunity, like market research in some cases. So I think that perfectly shows that the outside is moving in, market research, and the inside, thinking from product, is kind of moving out. And they will meet somewhere in the middle. So market research is still looking at, competitors, trends, but is now more and more applying this to what that does to the perception of a product. And if we look at UX research, we are more looking outside, like I just said. We're trying to root it in that context.
Attitudes that they could then use for marketing materials. Helena was like, hey, great, this is awesome.
But it is informative for me, but it isn't actionable. For me, it was great to know what parts of our overlapping user base would be kind of idealistic when it comes to digital tools. It was great to know. Also great to know who would use two of the same tools of our set of tools. However, I was missing behavioral insights like, do they work with clients or do they work internally? Do they perhaps work on a project basis or do they work on a continuous basis? All these things matter a lot for how relevant a product is in your life or in your work life. So what I did is I kind of created my own, I created my own segmentation, sorry. And that was a behavioral segmentation, which leaves us with two segmentations which are in no way related. So we basically have two things that we can act upon. Most likely marketing will use the marketing segmentation and product will use the behavioral segmentation.
And so instead of just bringing those together and saying, hey, we're just going to do one segmentation and it's going to be the marketing segmentation, or we're only going to do one segmentation and it's going to be the behavioral segmentation, what we can really think about is this idea that we can do the research together, but there are different applications. And that's a way that we can make sure that brand and product are truly integrated. So research comes from the same spot, but obviously the end product, an ad versus, let's think, like an onboarding module, are very different. But they can still be rooted in the same research, there's just a different application. And why can they be rooted in the same research? Well, because market research and brand is all about perception and influencing perception, whereas UX research and product is all about influencing and changing behavior. But we can actually think about perception and behavior being really, really connected. So to take a super simple example, say I see a commercial for a toothpaste that says, if you use this toothpaste, your teeth will get whiter. It's going to help your teeth get whiter, you're going to have a better smile. the age of selfies, so the cultural context is the fact that like you want to look good in a selfie, so you want white teeth, like cool, I'm gonna buy this toothpaste. So my perception of wanting whiter teeth and my perception that this toothpaste will give me whiter teeth affected my action, and thus I purchased the toothpaste. But I use the toothpaste, and even though my teeth get whiter, I get more cavities. Now, the outcome of my behavior, purchasing the toothpaste, actually influences my perception. I'm not going to trust this brand anymore. I'm not going to trust this product anymore. And it's really cyclical in the sense that brand and product are not super separate. Yeah, they target different things, perception and behavior, but those are so connected. And we're constantly evaluating, going back and forth, how perception is influencing behavior and vice versa.
Yeah. So again, why is it so important to work from the same source of insights? As if we say that perception and behavior are so like intertwined, then we shouldn't talk about our product in a very different way than what our product represents, right? I mean, that makes sense. But I think we go even one step further and we say that they are built upon each other. So brand lives through product and product lives through brand. And this can be just an empty sentence, but I think we really, really believe that. And I think we're in a place to say that they're the same thing is maybe one bridge too far, but they are definitely closer than ever, and maybe even more so in a digital world. Why? Because if we would look at maybe back in the days just physical products, we would have branding to be able to kind of establish the connection between you and the product. However, with these digital interfaces, which can be incredibly complex, there's so much more opportunities and capabilities of conveying what your brand stands for through that interface. So they become intertwined. We hope an example is WeTransfer. We actually kind of know, because when we talk to people about, what is WeTransfer for you, they say, oh yeah, if I close my eyes, I just see that big wallpaper and then the square. So that is that radical simplicity that we were referring to in the beginning of the talk. And this radical simplicity has carried on all the way through our brand values. So they kind of inform each other. Now, if we make a new product, it should be radically simple. Another example from WeTransfer is that background, which is now a weird kind of pinkish. But usually we show wallpapers there. So that was the big drawing that you saw in the beginning. 30% of them we give away to creatives. And that is because WeTransfer is really passionate about the power of creativity. So instead of just, giving money to a gallery or to a specific artist, we choose to feature them in our product, not somewhere else, in our product. So that interacting with the product is immediately conveying that passion that we have and making those people feel at home with us.
So our brand value of creativity actually lives through our product. And what we talk about from a brand standpoint, that creativity matters, that it's important, that it fuels human life, actually really truly comes to life in our products. So taking all of this, we believe that the future of research, both market research and UX research, is an integrated insights team with the capabilities to apply those insights to the whole company. And don't worry, we're pitching this at WeTransfer tomorrow. But really what we mean here is that you would have an integrated team with a UX researcher, with a market researcher, with business analytics, so that you are able, as a united team, to identify the opportunity, evaluate the opportunity, and most importantly, act on the opportunity, both from a brand standpoint and a product standpoint. So what we can really say, like the final graphic is research in the middle, so the dark circle representing research, and that united research team influences both product and brand. And thus, product both influences and informs and inspires brand, and brand informs and inspires and influences product. And so it really becomes this super dynamic circle where there's a constant feedback loop.
Yeah, and again, if we would just overlap the square with the circle and we would still be doing separate researches and trying to reactively apply them to the other, then we don't think we will reach the same state of integration as we will when we will work like this.
So a really great example of this, I know I gave an example where we were doing separate research, but we've also tried to bring it together. And a great example of sort of bringing product and brand together is our most recent campaign, Welcome to WeTransfer, Please Leave. So this campaign was actually inspired by our product. Obviously, as you know by now, we value radical simplicity. Part of that radical simplicity is that we want you to come in and use our products and then leave. We don't try to entice you to stay in our products longer than you need to. They're really built for functionality. So that's the product insight. The product insight is, hey, our products are really simple to use. You don't need to spend much time in it. That's the UX research. Then if we look over on the market research side, well, what's the cultural context? Well, right now, most tech companies, or at least some tech companies, are actually creating products that incentivize users to spend more and more and more time in them. So they're actually creating addictive products. They're creating likes, feeds, notifications, everything that sucks you in and keeps you in the product. And there's been sort of a backlash to that. I don't want to spend all of my time in Instagram. I don't want to spend all of my time in Snapchat. I want to go out and see the world. So we took that to say, how are we going to differentiate ourselves as a brand within the tech industry? Well, we're going to take a stand and we're going to say, we're not enticing you to stay in our product. We're not creating digital Doritos to keep you hooked. We are actually encouraging you to go on and explore your life. And so Please Leave wouldn't actually be a powerful or emotional campaign if it wasn't given the cultural context of the way that technology works now and the way that technology incentivizes users to spend a lot of time in their products. So in this way, both product, hey, we have really simple products, and also market research, the cultural context of the current tech industry came together into one campaign.
And the interesting thing is, so it started with product, then brand did their thing with it, and now us in the product department are taking this again, like, okay, so how can we hone in on this even more? Should we maybe even change our OKRs? Like, if we will have the word engagement in there, that doesn't really make sense. So that's a debate that actually started once we launched this campaign, and I believe that at the core of our products, it is already that we don't want to keep you in forever. But we start thinking about it again. How will we approach notifications, right? Notifications are a powerful tool to get people into the product again and to create that hook model, right? But do we even want that? And how will our product change because of this honing in on Please Leave?
So to sort of close it off, obviously I said no. Market research or UX research is not going to take over market research. But rather what's going to happen instead of one overtaking the other is they're actually going to come together to create an integrated team and to better align product and brand. And that's sort of what we believe through our hours of discussion the future of research is.
Thank you.
Thank you.